come out end of another season. Is it one where I'm sure you look forward to every match, but is there an element of I could do with a bit of a break now?
I think so. You obviously want to be playing. You go back to the start of the season. You're raring to go and you want to play every game. But yeah, it's been tough. I think this is the first time in probably 4 or 5 years that I've had this run of games where I've played sort of the majority of the second half of the season. So yeah, sometimes the body's feeling it, and yeah, like you said, it's nice to get a little break.
Yeah, and no matter how much work you put into getting yourself in the best physical shape possible, when you're doing that and playing 3 games a week for what seems like half the season, that is going to take its toll, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's the Saturday, Tuesdays that get you really. It all sort of creeps up on you, and then you don't feel the best after some of the games, but yeah, you just got to keep going and go again.
And if I'd have said to you before the start of the season, you'd have played that number of matches, you'd have come in and done as well as you have. I mean, do you sort of ever look back and pinch yourself over the last 9-10 months?
I think so, yeah. Like I said, you at the start of the season you try and push, and you want to be playing as many as possible. Obviously, at the start of the season, it didn't really go to plan, but the second half of the season definitely improved a lot, and yeah, I'm happy to be playing that many.
Yeah, well, and you fully deserve the starts you've had, and I've heard it said about you in the past that you maybe didn't feel like you were a Bristol City player, even though you've been here for such a long time, because you're out on loan, not involved in the first team. I'm hoping that's changed completely now.
Oh, it's definitely changed. I feel at home here. It's my hometown club. I've never seen myself playing anywhere else really. So yeah, it's nice to obviously be here and cementing myself in the squad now.
And belief-wise, you must walk that little bit taller, knowing actually, you know what, I've come and proved that I can do it in more than one position at this level.
I think that's the mindset I had at the start of the season, sort of trying to prove to everyone that I'm capable of playing this many games really, because I struggled at the start of last season, I think, with obviously back-to-back games, but I think I've improved on that massively.
And you're one of, another place you could say exactly the same for Zach, probably for Max in goal. It's that development of homegrown players who've been here for a little bit of time but maybe haven't had the chance that they deserved. That's been one of the real stories of the season for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's comforting knowing that the gaffer sort of trusts us all back there as well. Yeah, like you said, the start of last season, I probably come here thinking I'm not going to have many games, and towards the back end of last season, it was the same really. But yeah, good to be involved in the squad as much as I have been.
And you've sort of been around the squad for a few years now, so maybe better placed than most to say this. But how would you see that development of the morale, the team spirit within that dressing room? How has that changed over the last few seasons?
I mean, it feels really good now. I feel like we're in a real good place, squad-wise. The whole team get on really well together. But yeah, it's been tough the last couple of seasons. Obviously, the season before this one, when we weren't doing so great, it's obviously going to be hard in the changing room. But yeah, all of the lads have stuck together, and yeah, we're in a really good place now.
And it's about finishing off now, isn't it? Because only one game left in the season, but it always seems to matter a little bit more that you go away with that real positive memory.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously at the end of last season we had the 5-0 win against Hull, and everyone was buzzing about that. And then you look forward to the next season because you feel like you can go and get some similar results. So yeah, we'll go into the weekend with giving it everything for one last time.
And Queen's Park Rangers, it was one of these situations that looked like it might have everything riding on it for them. It probably doesn't now because of their results. Does that make any difference to the way you look at it?
Not really. I think we go there to win, and I think we obviously want the highest points tally possible. So I think we've gone into every game trying to get the best result out of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, how was those stints in centre-back helped improve your all-round game, do you think?
I think it's made me concentrate a little bit more. Obviously, the first couple of times I played there, I got caught on the ball quite a bit. But it's been good having the players sort of around me to get me through those patches. Zach's been unbelievable at talking to me and helping me. I've obviously had JMO and Kingy in front of me, which has been really good, really experienced lads. So yeah, it's definitely helped a lot.
I remember when we spoke back in November now, it seems like a long time ago, but you said that you wanted to prove people wrong this season. You've done that and more. How much of a source of motivation has that been for you and these performances this season?
I think it's been massive this season. I think I've been, at the start of the season, like you said, in my head I'm thinking I've got a lot of critics to prove wrong, sort of thing. And I think every game I've seen more and more people liking the way I play, and that's a really big thing as well. It fills me with a lot of confidence, so it's kind of made it a little bit easier.
You picked up that injury early in pre-season, but I think from October when you come back, you've more or less played every single game. How much confidence does that give you that your body can kind of sustain the rigours of Championship football, playing 3 times a week?
A lot of confidence. Like I said just a second ago, it is a tough and hard season to get through, really, when you play that many games in a row. And like I said, it's the first time in my career where I've been playing Saturday, Tuesday. So it's good to know, and it fills me with a lot of confidence. Obviously, I haven't been playing at left back, where I feel like the demand is a little bit more than centre back, but it all comes with different aspects of the game, I suppose. Centre back's different. I've got to concentrate a lot more than left back, where I can just get the ball and sort of run with it.
Have you had to kind of tailor your recovery over the period to kind of sustain that fitness, and how much credit to the medical department?
Definitely, I feel like we've changed it a lot this year with in terms of coming back up to the training ground after games and getting straight into the cryotherapy. So I think we've managed that side of it a lot better this season. I think it shows on the pitch with the demands that they put on the people for the running stats and stuff like that. It's been massive. So
I know you've spoken before about the mental side of the game and playing 3 games in a week and the toll it can take. How have you navigated your way through that this season, and do you feel now that you're in a lot better place?
Yeah, I feel like I've learnt to relax a little bit more and not do stuff straight after games and stuff like that. I like to just get home and chill out now, and I think that helps a lot. So,
for you, what's been the biggest transformation of this team over the course of the season?
I think our mentality has changed quite a lot, where when we concede, I feel like we don't drop our heads as much, and I think that shows Stoke away, for example, where we get ourselves back into the game after a really tough period. I think if you look at that game and put it against a game from last season, for example, I feel like you'd see 2 completely different performances.
Have you had to change your personal goals at all this season? I know you mentioned before about proving people wrong. Now you've done that. What's next?
I'd like to play as high as possible, and preferably with this football club, to be honest. I think that's everyone's goal. I think if you sat here and asked anyone that question, I think anyone would say, I want to play as high as possible and then prove people wrong in a higher league, I guess. But preferably with this football club.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Hi, Cam. All right. You spoke about how much the team has progressed this season. How much added belief does the weekend's performance against runaway champions Burnley give you going into next season that you can compete with the best teams in this league?
I think it fills you with a lot of confidence. We all sat around after the game and said we feel like we should have got something from the game. And if you look at that and see the type of team we're playing against, I think that obviously fills you with a lot of confidence, because you know you've matched them.
And around this time of year, players figure out whether they're going to carry on in academy football or whether they get released. In your experience, you've had a lot of ups and downs in your career already. What would your advice be to those younger members at Bristol City, maybe in the academy, who might not be extending their contract here? Yeah,
it's always a tough time of year for players in the academy. I've been lucky enough not to be in that situation, thankfully. So it's hard for me to give advice, but I just, all I can say is try and keep your head down, and you'll probably find somewhere where, for example with me, where you step down a level and then sort of step back up in your own sort of time. I think it's been obviously difficult with me at the start of my career, where it was frustrating at times taking that step back, but looking back at it, it was probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, and looking forward to this weekend, obviously potentially coming up against Chris Martin, a player you know well. What threat will he pose?
He's just a big physical striker, likes to get amongst people, and Yeah, I'm not sure where I'll be playing. I don't know whether it would be centre back, but I'm sure it would give me a tough day if it wasn't centre back, because yeah, he poses that threat in the air, and I think that's something that I need to work on and get better at. But yeah, he's a good player. He'll hold the ball up for him. I've seen the last couple of games they haven't had much possession, so I don't think we let them have the ball as much. Hopefully, so we'll have a lot of the ball and. Yeah, try keep them pinned in.